We're back. It's the weekend wrap. Apologies about last week. We weren't about, but we're back now. It's number 10 in the weekend wrap. Dean's here as well. Dean, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Apart from the football.
Apart from the football, I'm all right. But the weekend's just a bit of a sour weekend, or sour into the weekend, really.
It is as well, especially like. Bar the Sevilla game, yeah. Obviously, we're talking Manchester United now, guys. We're going to be talking the Premier League later and the rest of the stuff. But bar the Sevilla game, United have been in amazing form in the league. Won our last 5. Chelsea, Liverpool, City. Come back against Palace. At home against the bottom of the table, we lose. Yeah. How the hell does that happen? How does it happen?
It's typical of United for the last couple of years, I think. With the results that we'd had recently, some of them probably against the run I played, like with City, for example. Obviously, we played first half, but we have been playing kind of well. So on paper, we should just brush these aside. But it just epitomises our team for the last couple of seasons that will then go to a team who we should just turn over, struggle to create anything, and then just get done on a set piece. Like it was a foul in the build-up. We have to add that, but. We dropped points, just unnecessary points. We should be rolling these over. They've won 3 games all season.
Is there anything in those eternal optimists that say it was a dead rubber, it didn't matter?
Nah, because I think that second position is not secure. I'm not saying, like, I don't want to get into this whole Arsenal where they chase 4th or whatever, but it's like we want to, obviously if we're not going to finish first, we need to finish as close to it as possible. And second's not guaranteed. And Liverpool are in good form, doing the semi-finals of the Champions League now. They're looking good in the league, and their games that are left, I think they've got a quite easy running from what I've seen. And it's like, if we don't finish second, although it's an improvement on last season, it's just again we like at the tail end of the season, it's just all slowed down, and then the momentum going to next season, it'll just leave me feeling kind of less optimistic, if you like, and it makes me start to question certain things that I don't want to be questioning.
It's true. It is very true, and especially with because I came out of that game feeling so deflated. I don't think I felt as deflated as that. Like, I know the Sevilla game, I felt really sad, but that was because we went out of the Champions League. That game against West Bromwich, I couldn't explain it. I was stood there watching the game. The players were awful. The tactics seemed awful. Although the managers come out and kind of blame the players. He said they were the masters of overcomplicating or something. Yeah. And it's like, you are the coach. You are the manager. Like, there seems to be a disconnect there. You can't. It's the first time this weekend I've really got on Mourinho. Yeah. I mean, you've seen that as well, innit? Like, how do you feel at the moment? Like, I'm not suggesting I want Mourinho out by any stretch, but just fix up a little bit.
Yeah. Again, I'm behind. Obviously, I'm behind Mourinho. I think that he's the best man for the job. I think the team he took on was awful when he took over, to be honest. And if you take away this game, it's like before this game, I was looking at it optimistically, regardless of whether obviously City have been playing like class football, even Liverpool to that extent. They've obviously been getting some joy with it as well. But I still never really look over there and think, yeah, that's what we need. Although I'd like us to play nicer football, I just don't think we have the personnel to do it.
But we do, kind of. Like we maybe don't have the personnel to play this tiki-taka football, but no one's asking for that. No one's asking for that. But when you look at Pogba, Martial, Alexis, Lukaku, Rashford, Lingard, Mata, Herrera, football has to be better.
Yeah, it does, but we've seen in previous years that we had good names on the team sheet, and it just didn't come to fruition in terms of the way we played. I don't know what it is, but that's the thing that makes me start to question. Like, is it? You hear about Pogba having problems with Mourinho. He's kind of even came out and confirmed that by saying that his relationship ain't the best with him. You know, when he was Raiola, when Pep says Raiola had approached him about Pogba or something, Jose said something about that then. So it's like, it makes me then think like, is there problems with certain players in the squad? You've seen what's happened with Shaw. Like we're playing yesterday against West Brom, and it's screaming out for like a winger. It's why Shaw, let Shaw, you know what I'm saying?
Whitford's coming from Ashley Young and Valencia yesterday, and to be fair to them, they try hard and all this, but they can't cross their legs. So, we've got no supply to the. Alexis Sanchez coming in central quite a lot. It begs me to ask, why not just start him centrally then and use someone that will provide you more?
I don't think he wants to drop Lukaku in it. Like,
you don't have to drop Lukaku at home. Could you not have played two in midfield?
You could have, but I think.
But even then, the 11 wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was good enough to beat West Brom, but I just think. Well, at the same time, like I say, none of our players are playing to what I think is their full potential, because none of our players have been talked about as having their best season.
But we have to ask why.
But some of it you can't always lay that at the foot of the manager, because he can tell you.
Asking, he can tell. Why do you think it is there?
I don't know, man. At the same, like this, what I think is just our players just ain't good enough. And it's sad for me to think this, because there's a lot of players who I like Tony Marshall, I like Rashford, but I don't think they're good enough. As like in terms of where we want to go, and in terms of the end results we want, because as much as there is going to be people who are not liking Mourinho, and they'll reference Martial, for example, but when he's given a chance, he hasn't. Although his record is good.
Before Alexis came in, his record was fantastic. He was one of the best players in the team.
Yeah, but there was certain games when he started and it just didn't work, and it's like, well, it's set to, like the times of football we're in now, where we've got certain players who are just excelling and scoring regular, like Kane, Salah this season. It's like we need Lingard had a good season, but we need someone who Sterling. I think he's on a similar level, but Sterling scored like 21 goals.
But Russ then says Rashford is good enough, and I agree with that, and I agree that Martial is good enough too. And I also think, like, surely the manager has to get the best out of these players as well, like, because we've seen at times they do well, and then other times they don't. Obviously, inconsistencies come with young players. But if you look at Manchester United on a whole, we are inconsistent. We don't know our best 11. We don't really have a style of play, which is fair enough, because you have to tactically change things for different games. But are we an attacking team or a defensive team? I don't think you can answer that question, because I genuinely don't know. We're not a defensive team. People that say we park the bus, we don't park the bus. But we don't really attack either.
Yeah, now there isn't as much fluidity for us going forward. I just think, again, this is kind of what I knew when Mourinho was coming here. That certain games, for example, Liverpool away, he's not going to want to lose that game. I could have told you this before that game happened. He's not going to want to lose the game. Obviously, you can get swamped in the first half an hour at Anfield, so you probably want to keep it quiet. And obviously, you want to just try and hit him on the break. And I think that's the way Mourinho set up. But I just don't think we've got on the day, the person didn't take a chance. All we need is one chance. No one took it. Yesterday, Lukaku had, there wasn't many chances, but there was chances. And it's like, in the City team at the moment, someone's scoring.
But the other day against West Brom, I can't remember a clear-cut chance.
There was a Lukaku
had one from Mata, where he turned in the box, had a shot. But I can't. Maybe because I was just so depressed watching that stuff that a lot of it didn't register. But we didn't really create anything.
Yeah, agreed. However, again, if at Manchester United, we need players who, in those situations where we're struggling to create something, we need someone to create a piece of magic out of nothing.
So then, why do you take off all of your midfield?
Yeah, I didn't understand that in it. Like
if you want to take Pogba off, at least bring McTominay on. Like, where's your midfield? No, but like, where is your midfield? He left Matic on his own.
I agree with that.
You can go out attack. Like, someone said to me, you moan that he don't attack. We had 6 attackers on the pitch. But there has to be balance. Surely
obviously
there has to
he's
be
told
a
them,
balance.
I want you to do this. He's not just says, yeah, go and stand on the pitch. This is where I think it's as much as people, like I said, get onto Mourinho, some of this responsibility has to be taken by the players, and they're not performing to the level we want them to. They're not. You're not
week in, week out.
Nah, you're not. Pogba, for example, he's had polar opposites. His classic, second half against City was looked like one of the best midfielder in the world. Playing against West Brom, he looked whack, and it's like, to me, even with a whack Pogba, I would keep him on because I think he can still, in a 90-minute game, he can do at least one good thing, and that one good thing is going to be better than, to me, like what Scott McTominay can do. So it's like, when he took off Pogba, to me, I just thought the game's over because I just don't. Even though we've got all these names, Sanchez or whatever, it's like no one's actually doing it. So it's like I just don't think we're that creative. And I think Pogba's the most creative. So once we take him off, I was like, you just give up the game. But you're hearing after he's on a yellow card, and it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, is he trying to stop him from getting banned? I don't know. But someone, like I say, these things make me start questioning again this conversation. Is it the players or is it Jose?
If Pogba gets sent off, which is unlikely, because as an attacker you can just kind of stop challenging. We have most of the possession. He doesn't really have to tackle. You can give someone else that responsibility. Like, he would have missed Bournemouth. 2 yellows, 1 game suspension. You missed Bournemouth.
You said that, look, we're going to just brush him aside. Like,
but he's probably going to rest a lot of players against Bournemouth regardless because of the game against Spurs. Was Pogba going to start that Bournemouth game anyway? He's probably not going to start it.
I think he would. I think we're going to start all the best players because, to be honest, again, I don't. Even though we've been in good form, I still think we need our best players.
Who are our best players?
Who do
you think is going to start? Like,
who would start
with Spurs in mind? I know, but who would you start against Spurs then? Like, who's our best team?
I would probably start the same team I want to start against Spurs, to be honest. But I would probably, if I can take 3 of them off, I would take them. I'm taking them off at 60 minutes. So I'm giving them an hour. Like, the same as internationals, like, you know what I'm saying? If there was on an international break now and they're playing on a Saturday, the best players will be playing, so I'll play them in this game. I think we need to. I don't think we can go into. We just lost to West Brom in it. Like, we can't think we can just start playing our week.
So who? You say we lost to West Brom. The question we're asking, and I want everyone else to get in the comments as well. Robbie Ray's got a good question as well, which I'll ask you in a bit. But the question is, whose fault was it? I know it's the second question on the list. We've come to it first. It's kind of natural. Players of Jose. I know it could be a mixture of both, but whose fault was it, do you feel?
Yesterday.
Against West Bromwich Albion. And kind of like these bad performances that are happening, because it kind of goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the players, to be honest. I think as much as, even if Mourinho was putting out negative tactics, you're on the picture, so you don't actually have to listen. I'm not suggesting you don't do what he says, but you can just do what you want. And if he says, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm sure Van Gaal said you have to take 2 touches in the final, Lingard just licked it, innit? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not going to be like, oh, let me just take 2 touches. You just do it, innit? You're on the picture.
It was gone after that.
Who says he knew that, innit? But I'm just saying, like, there is times when you can just not listen to what your manager's saying, innit? But I think
there is some responsibility with the players.
Yeah, I just think the whole team was flat, to be honest, and I don't think that's necessarily how we set up.
I feel like there's a lot of reasons where we should have been positive. We're going to an FA Cup semi-final. We're beating City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and everything seems flat, negative, lack of confidence among the fans, amongst the players, and I think that's partly to do with the manager. But I also agree that the players have to perform better. But the manager has to inspire confidence in some of these players. I've said it long before Jose Mourinho came to Manchester United, that younger players or younger attacking flair players, Hazards, the Robins, etc., he doesn't know how to handle them. And I've hoped that he could change. And whilst I think his treatment of Rashford has been pretty fair, I kind of think that's forced upon him with the whole academy product thing and him keeping that run going. Which he kind of has to do. I think if we had injuries to Rashford, Lingard, Pogba, everyone, we would pick someone from the academy just because on the bench. Like, that's something that will always be there. So he kind of has to. But with Martial, for example, I feel that there is part of your management where you've got to make a player feel loved, wanted. You've got to make a player feel confident in his ability. And I don't think he does that with enough of his players. Pogba as well, for example.
But Martial's been better this season than last season. And, like, Mourinho was berated.
But there's been a clear drop with Martial and Pogba. 2 of our best players, may I add. And if they go in the summer because of this, I don't think Pogba will go. I think Martial...
Nah, Pogba's not going to go.
I feel like Martial's leaving.
I'd be surprised if he left, to be honest.
I hope you're right. And I hope it's just me being, Martial's my favourite player. I don't want him to go. But if Martial leaves, that's a disgrace, and that's not. Oh, Martial hasn't been good enough. Martial's to blame. The manager has to. Right. Like this is a valuable. Like look at this guy. His performances have been very good.
Okay, does Martial get in the City team?
In talent alone,
does he get based on talent alone? Does he get in the talent?
If Pep Guardiola has Martial,
does he start though?
If Pep Guardiola has Martial last summer, he's in the City team right now. He's ahead of Sane.
But I'm saying on his form
Martial's better than Sane.
Yeah, but Rashford. I've said this before on here. I think Rashford and Martial. I would rather, if I could just choose them, Rashford and Martial over Sane and Sterling. I think I'd rather have Rashford and Martial. But who has played better? Who has produced results?
Has Martial played?
He's played games.
When he played against, he came off the bench recently. He played in the FA Cup game.
He hasn't won.
Apart from that, he didn't play. And before that, he has what you say he doesn't. This is where the inconsistency is coming, because Young, Smallings, Alexis, some of these that don't deserve to
Alexis
be in the team.
Alexis has got a whole. Since he's came.
Alexis was worse than Martial when Alexis arrived at the club form-wise.
But who's at that time? Who would you have said is
Sanchez is the better player?
That's what I'm saying. So
but nevertheless, you've got to treat your players. If you're Anthony Martial, for example. And you're thinking, okay, I've been dropped because my form's bad or whatever. But then you're seeing the next man stink the place out, and he's not getting that same treatment. You're naturally going to think, you know what, fuck it. Yeah. Whereas if he gets dropped and you get your chance, it's kind of like, okay, he's had his time. He fucked up. Now it's my chance. And it keeps everyone on their toes.
Yeah, no, I agree you can do that. But again, we're dealing with humans. So at the same time, I just don't think... I think that damages Sanchez a lot more. As much as people are not going to want to hear it, I think if Mourinho does that, which maybe he could have done when Sanchez wasn't playing his best, he could have just whipped him out the side. But what's the knock-on effects then for Sanchez, who you've just bought? If you take him out the side straight away, and it's like, well, bro, you know what I'm saying? That's a massive message. Like, you've just come and you ain't even good. Like, I'm not saying that's necessarily what is the best thing to do, but I can understand that decision. Like, in terms of, because I think if you just take Sanchez out the side, I think he's rattled from that, and then, but then again, it comes back to, and when it's actually based on who's the better player, Sanchez is the better player. So to me, that's why I would have protected Sanchez
right now.
I wouldn't why did you sign him?
But there's part of me that feels like this Sanchez signing could become a mistake in the long term. In the short term, it could have great fruition, but if it costs us Martial, and in 2 years, 3 years, when Sanchez ain't cutting it no more, Martial's going to be tearing it up somewhere, doing a madness, and we're going to think, what the fuck did we do? Because most likely Mourinho isn't going to be our manager, and we're going to have allowed him to force out a talent that is far too big to be forced out, and then leave anyway. Okay, that's the danger that I fear.
I agree with that, but so then the opposite. So if we go with Martial, is if United fans happy to just not win the league for the next couple of seasons then?
No, because we can win it with him.
We win last season.
Is our attack the problem though? When you look at our team,
we don't although we've scored more goals than last season.
Because to me, it's the midfield and defence. Get them things right.
But if you City, again, I don't want to keep harping on about City, although they've won the league or whatever. But with a lot of times, City were just blowing away teams. No homo, like they were, you know what I'm saying? They're scoring a lot more goals in it. So it's like, literally, even if they concede, so it's like, even if our defense is whack, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're like, if City's defense ain't even the best, but it's like they're scoring a lot of goals, and it's like if we scored a lot more goals, then obviously we wouldn't have to worry about our defense. But Lukaku don't score enough goals again.
And Lukaku, look, if Lukaku doesn't get many chances, to be honest, last season we had a fully flying Pogba. And Zlatan was missing sitter after sitter after sitter. This year, we ain't had no one that's fully flying in terms of chance creation. And Lukaku hasn't been missing chance after chance after chance, I feel.
But he's not scoring, to who we're being compared to now against City, obviously, who just won the league. Liverpool are right behind us. Like, look at the number Salah's throwing up, and it's like, imagine it. This is the thing that pains me. It's like, all the last couple of seasons, we're never talking about a United player who's player of the season.
Because the managers, though.
It's all easy. Jamie Vardy was like, you know what I'm saying?
But look at the way they played to Jamie Vardy's strengths. We don't play to our best players' strengths.
But he still has to finish the chances. Like, Vardy is an example. But there's other players, Mahrez, for example. You know what I'm saying? There's other players who've been good in the league.
How many goals do you think Salah would have at United? He wouldn't have 40 goals.
I don't know. He creates a lot himself. You know,
I don't think he would have 40 goals.
But again, the system obviously that they play, I think they all complement each other. But our attacking, to me, it's like he inherited like Rashford. There was no one else really there. He got Zlatan. Zlatan got injured. He got Lukaku. Lukaku for me I wanted him over Morata in the summer, and I thought he'd be a lot better at us than he actually is. Like, but it's like he's kind of changed. But I just think you used to mention before, like I think he's matched his goal tally for his.
He's gonna get his best ever season.
Yeah, which is great. But he's in a better team.
Yeah, but at the same time, we haven't. I'd argue that in his last season at Everton, I don't know this. Can someone check it? I guess in his last season at Everton, he had more chances than he has at United.
But they're a poorer team, you know them one. So it's like I'm just thinking that you're gonna have to have created something that yourself.
Come on, then play to his like. You want to play to our strengths, but the only width we've got is Valencia and Young. Why are Valencia why is Young in the team?
What is his strengths though? What is his strengths? You'd say crossing it. He's decent.
I don't think Lukaku's the problem, to be honest. I think Lukaku's been very good for United.
He's not. Well, okay, he's not. You're not going to win a league with him up front as it's on at the moment. You know them ones. Or you're going to have to.
You're not going to win the league with the tactics the way they are. I don't think. I think we've got to improve in certain areas. Defense being one of them. I think the defense showed they're not good enough again.
Who stays in this whole? Who's good enough in that whole team? No, that's what I keep.
But I think if you build from the back and you sort out your defense and you sort out your midfield, we're a better team. Like, we've got the attack. Maybe we need one winger, but really we've got the attack.
But then if we get another winger, then Rashford and
Rashford.
Rashford for as well. Like,
see, we need to be using more than one striker. We can't be dealing with this one striker business.
Yeah. But that's what I said at the start. It's like he don't drop Lukaku. He doesn't drop him. He mentioned something the other day when I think he was talking about Martial, and he said like he doesn't start enough games, and he was like, go and ask Lukaku and Matic where they start. And it's like you keep Lukaku on the pitch because you like. Me personally, I think it's because you don't want to kind of admit that you like it probably wasn't or it hasn't worked as well as we'd thought. As much as he has scored goals, I just don't think he hasn't scored enough to propel us to where we need to go. I
don't think we've created enough, but that's a different. I'm getting frustrated with Jose Mourinho, but I'm still firmly behind him as a manager, and I still think he will win things here. I just don't want him to ruin some of our best players, and I'm hoping some of the rumours we hear aren't true. But nevertheless, we're not just talking Manchester United today. Get your thoughts in on that though. We're going to be talking plenty more. Manchester United's defeat against West Bromwich Albion. I still can't believe I'm fucking saying that. Means Manchester City are the champions. Now, first things first, I need to have a laugh at them before we praise them. Did you see that video that they made?
Which one? Oh, the celebration thing. Oh my life. Oh, yeah, I'll leave it.
When have you ever seen football fans sing "If You're Happy and You Know It" and you really want to show it? I ain't never seen that happen.
They're so cringe. Everything they do, I swear, is just cringe, man.
I don't get it. There was so many things wrong with that video as well. The men in the pub were drinking pints of water. There was a dude FaceTiming some dudes somewhere else to show him some little ginger kid. It was like, what's going on here? I just don't get it. But Manchester City are champions, obviously deservedly so. Best team this season by far. I think they've got the best defence, or maybe one of the best defences, and they've obviously got the best attack. But are they the best team ever, which has become the conversation recently because they won the league so long ago, it feels, in December. But are they the best team in the Premier League era? Obviously football started in 92. Do you think they are? And do you think... I think this topic of conversation is pretty fucking ridiculous. but we know with this new day and age, the way everything, Sky will pump, make the most out of everything. What do you think?
I think, like the saying goes, isn't it? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. I think the best team wins the most competitions, and obviously there's 4 competitions you can win, and City have won 2 of them, I think.
Yeah.
Which is obviously is fair play to them. They have played. The brand of football is sick. Like I can't lie. Like sometimes when I watch City, like not to say I watch City a lot, but I have watched City games, and like it's like I watch their games, and sometimes I am envious and think like why can't we play like that? But at the same time, I think obviously they've got better personnel than we have, and I think that's through. It's another kind of topic.
In attack, I don't think they have.
On putting numbers on the board, they have though. Like I say,
but that's because of the way they play.
We can give excuses on it, but again, like the numbers don't lie, and it's like, again, I think Martial and Rashford are better than Sané and Sterling, but look at the numbers they've both threw up. It's ridiculous. Sterling's got 21 goals, I think, in all competitions, and he's missed some sitters. He missed 2
Exactly,
two
this
sitters.
is what I'm saying, though, man. You don't see Lukaku miss as many sitters. Like, I'm sorry we're going back here. You don't see Lukaku miss those sitters because he don't get the chances to miss sitters.
Yeah, but that's because they play a bit of football. And
That's the point.
But they've got better players than us.
But
and they've had
they've
had better players than us for
look
years.
at their defence. Look at their goalkeeper. Our defence is shit. They got better fullbacks.
Okay, goalkeeper. I'd have De Gea.
Yeah.
Centre backs, Company.
Company's been out for most of the season.
But
Bay has been injured. Yeah, so they're out of the players that have been fit. They've got a better.
Otamendi's been better than Smalling or Phil Jones.
Yeah,
you know them ones like it's.
Their defence is
all
better.
through the team. Kyle Walker walks in the United team if he's in Old Trafford, walks into the team. As good as Valencia's kind of been,
defo.
walks into that team.
Defo.
Mendy, he walks into our team. Obviously, he's been in.
He ain't even been walking recently, but
even that's like Delph and flipping Ashley Young. Like you know what I'm saying? They're like they're both ex Villa as well, and it's like
2 peas in a pod.
Yeah, they've both made the extended careers by playing left back. It's just absolute madness. And then you move for the rest of the team. Silva and all them. Again, I love Pogba, but they all get in ahead of our players throughout the team.
Midfield, they definitely do. But that's where they're stronger. They've invested at fullback, invested in midfield. Don't get a
sniff, you know them ones. Yeah, that's where will probably walk into our squad at least. You know them ones.
Yeah.
Like, for me, you can't get a sniff, man.
That's true. Their defence and midfield is much better than ours. But I still feel we should do more with what we've got. Nevertheless, let's talk about Manchester City. Which teams, like someone just mentioned 2007-08 United team as being way better.
Yeah.
I say that 99 United team, and I think Jose's Chelsea teams. Well, sorry, the early Chelsea team. Drogba, Lamps, Robben, that team.
Yeah, no, I think the 07-08 team.
Arsenal Invincibles, do you think that's better than this team?
Nah.
They both didn't do it in Europe.
Nah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think as well, like, again, if you just look at it, it's like, although Arsenal were unbeaten that season, you can technically go unbeaten all season and get relegated. You know, you could draw 38 games and just, you know what I'm saying? So, as much as it was good not to lose, like, they didn't, like, I think if you put up the numbers of the highest, like, points record or something, because that's the other thing where I think would strengthen City's argument is if they get the most points in the Premiership season, you'd have if you're just talking about the Premiership, you'd have to argue that you know what I'm saying, you'd have to argue they're the best Premiership team, like if discounting Champions League or whatever, like if you're just talking about the Premiership, if they do put up the highest numbers in regards to points for the whole season, maybe that does trump it. But going back to the point that the 07-08 team, United team,
is that better than the 99 team?
For me, it is, yeah.
Because of Ronaldo, innit?
I just Tevez. I think
Rooney,
Hargreaves was in, like Rooney, like you know what I'm saying, like we was
Giggs.
tidy, like
that midfield of Hargreaves, Carrick, Scholes. Even then, like Nanny Anderson coming off the bench.
Yeah. I'm sure Anderson bossed Gerrard at Anfield that season.
And that Van der Sar, Vidic, Evra,
yeah.
Ferdinand defence. They went on to keep that. Remember that ridiculous record they kept, like the world record, or I don't know what it
clean
was.
Sheets as well.
Yeah. They just kept so many clean sheets. So I think that team, because the attack, they had Ronaldo that got 42 goals. In our 99 season, we had York and Cole top goal scorers with 26. We have Ronaldo on 40 odd. And then we had big contributions from other players, and the defence was outrageous. But Stam Johnson,
I think
not bad.
when you look, I was looking at some statistics of the '99 team, and I think like they came with in that season we had a ridiculous amount of times where United was behind and came back to win in sort of like 17 or 18. I think it was 17 or 18 games. I think where there was we went goals down and then come back to win. And like obviously those sort of qualities I think are like massive. That's one good thing I think. To be fair to them, I think the Arsenal Invincibles team
City had it early in the season as well.
But again, it's like not to keep harping on about City, but again, it's like when I was watching the City game against Southampton. I was in America at the time, so I was watching. It was in the afternoon, and it was they was playing whack. But then one player just comes out with one piece of brilliance. It was Sterling. It's just again come back to United. It's those moments, and it's like now because they've won the league, it's like you can kind of bring back the season to those little points there where it's 1 point into 3, and it happened quite a few times for them. And again, like going back to like the 99 team, obviously Champions League final we won after being 1-0 down, innit? So, but the best thing for me
the points difference at the moment is 13, 15.
I think it's 15.
And I think you look at they had a run of 4 games where they come from behind, scored late. United had that run of 3 games where we drew. And it's like it's those run of forms. They definitely had great purple patches at the right time, which gave them a lot of confidence for the rest of the season. They may have burnt out a little bit towards now, especially with Champions League and that. I say 08 as well. You say 08. I'm biased because obviously I'm a United fan, and I got to see some of that live myself. So most of it, innit? We got
that's what I'm saying. So it's like I'm a little bit biased, but I'd say, in reality, I'd say the 07, 08, but really if you base it on numbers, you'd probably have to say the 1919 because
the 07, 08. Do you remember how close we were to winning the FA Cup that season? Ronaldo should have got a penalty, and then the keeper got sent off. Kushat, Rio winning goal, nearly saved a penalty. Portsmouth knocked us out the quarter-final stage. That was annoying because I think the final that year was. It was a really whack final, you know.
Didn't Portsmouth win it that year?
Yeah, I think Portsmouth won it, but they played Wigan or something.
Cardiff City.
Yeah, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like we, how did we do that? Like Portsmouth played West Brom in the semi-final. Like what the? Yeah. I know we just lost against them, but like what the? Like that's how close we were to the treble that year, which fine margins, but 99 and 08 were the pinnacle moments of 2 great teams, says Russ 18. 99 was some drama, says Dr. Trolley. Cardiff and West Brom, thanks for that, Mamps and Liam. City can't compete with those teams, says Russ. Adam, we lost the league this year parking the bus at Liverpool, says Viking Red. I think that was a big moment. Not with the result, but I do know what he's saying. There seems to be a point at that game where our performances just went awful.
We've just seen,
and I feel like the confidence got shot out of that team. Like that team was.
It's a good result.
No. It was a good result, but that was a 4-0 FC. Remember, it was getting called 4-0 FC. We went to Liverpool. I'm not saying you play stupid, but they played like they had their wings clipped. And when you played like I felt like that team mentally went just fell out with. I feel like that was a moment.
I think
if we went and looked at the result of that and then what followed, I think we'd see a correlation. And I kind of get what Viking Red's saying.
I think if you just look at what happened to City. As good as City are, they got turned over both times.
You don't have to be so like Pep Guardiola got dicked with 3 at the back, played 3 at the back, then played 3 at the back. You don't have to be so naive. Business. And he played a right back in a 3 at the like. If he got it wrong against Liverpool 3 times, and I'm not saying you go out there,
right?
But did he though?
We beat him,
but at the cost of what?
We took 4 points off him.
I know that, but I'm not saying the 0-0 was a bad result. It's the way you go about it. And I think you can get a draw and still have played differently.
Yeah, but...
You could have got beat, obviously. But I think I get what he's saying. There seemed to be... The fans definitely were like, And then the players
again, like,
seem to have kind of like just thought.
No disrespect to the fans here, because obviously I'm also a fan, and obviously I'm not the most like. Obviously I love football, but it's like I'm not like on like some. I ain't UEFA license or something like that. But it's like sometimes the fans ain't gonna understand. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna understand what the manager's trying to do. Like, if he's saying he wants X amount of points, and this is where I can take. I don't want to lose. I don't want to come away with 0 points, and this is what I think. You know what I'm saying? That's your business, bro. You're in charge. That's it. That's the responsibility that you have, because you're the manager. You get to do that. I don't. I can have opinions on that. So it's like, I don't think fans are always going to understand what a manager does, because you don't know it. Like, as much as we think we know Mourinho, you don't, and it like you don't know what he's thinking. You don't know what he's thinking in regards to Martial. Like, again, like harping on that, but again, but it's like, as much as people get onto Mourinho last season about his treatment of Martial's been remarkably better this season. Rashford's been better this season. So whose fault is that? It must be. It's as a like it came as a result of his management, because they're under him and they've been better. So, but it's like no one's gonna stand there and give him credit. You're just gonna get onto him and say don't play him enough. But again, like, you don't know what he's thinking. And I just think that, like I say, look, we're not always gonna understand.
But then does he communicate right in the press? Because bro, when you're coming out, when I'm coming out, I didn't get onto him for the Sevilla thing, yeah. But when I'm coming out of a game and we've just lost against West Bromwich Albion, and you're talking about how you've won the league 8 times, bro, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I genuinely don't give a fuck. I love you and all that. I've got your back, but don't talk that shit, please. Like, I don't care if you've won the league however many times, because that doesn't matter to us right now. Because your team ain't playing like you are a manager that's won the league many times. But
I think that's what the reason why he's saying that is, because I think he's making it very clear as to saying it's you, like the players, and it's not me, because I'm a winner, innit? Like, I'm a winner. I've won certain things. And then if you look at the squad, if he said to them, like, what have you won? Some of the players ain't won it. Like, what's Lukaku won? You know them ones. What's Lingard won? Like, what's Rashford won? You know, so obviously you won the FA Cup, you won the Europa, and under Mourinho, or you won the FA Cup under Van Gaal. But you know, like, but even then, it's like you haven't won as many. You haven't won leagues like Mourinho's won in several different countries. So I think, me personally, I wasn't.
So that was a challenge to the team.
No, I think it was more of a thing where the players ain't good enough. Like, that's what I think, because I don't think they, like, some of them I don't think they are. Like, as much as like some of the players, it's like I have like affiliations to, it's like I love Juan Mata or whatever. It's like I just think next season I just don't think you're there. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Mourinho. I think Mourinho wants someone better than you. Like, to be, and I think with a lot of players.
I think Matt will be here next season. I just got a feeling. Ari Sammy says, look at the reason why Jose say things, so he does agree with you. Viking Red, thanks for getting involved. Ross 18's got a question for City fans. He says, who do you thank, Pep or Sheikh Mansour?
Trust.
David Ajawumi says, I don't think this City team have the mentality, hunger to win the title back to back. That's a great question. And onto next season, I've heard Liverpool are a team to challenge next year, apparently. I disagree. I think United will be the closest to gain if we don't win it ourselves. And I don't think we're far away from winning it. I think it's a few alterations. Like, people look at it and think, oh, shit's crazy. Like, but like, we live in the moment with football. Like, if you step back and look at like the whole span of the season, most of it's all, like, it's been good. You know what I mean? So, do you think we are best placed to challenge City next season? And that goes to you guys in the comments. I'll be reading some out in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've, again, like, obviously it comes out to the transfer window in the summer, and I just think that obviously we're gonna strengthen again. I think obviously they're gonna have funds to spend. Everyone does, so I think, and obviously we do need to be invested in, and I can only imagine that we are gonna reinvest in some decent players, and we'll inevitably be better than we are now. For me, because I don't see how we can really be much worse if we're buying in players.
I think they've obviously got to be.
Yeah, they've got to be better than what we've got. In terms of challenging next season, I don't think your man said about if they've got the hunger to win the next title. I think obviously they're all like incentivized to win because it helps them all personally in terms of money, etc., and also just their own pride. Obviously, I'm sure they want to win, so I won't question that. But I just don't think next season that, like I say, it's those.
Have City ever retained the Premier League?
I don't think so. No.
They've won it 3 times. None of them were back to back. Because the first time they won it was Aguero, and then we won it and then so they've never won it back to back. So Pep would be the first to do that if he did it.
Even like that little mentality thing where it's like next season you're gonna go to teams as the champions. It's happened to kind of Chelsea this season. Like even now they're still not now because it's obviously City the champions, but prior to this you talk about Chelsea as the champions because they are the champions, isn't it? So that is more of a incentive for people. But again, I just think regardless if we're not champions or not, like we're everyone's cup final. Where, you know what I'm saying, for fans alike, everyone wants to beat United, innit? West Brom fans, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I seen the way that West Brom players were celebrating, and I'm thinking, like,
they're getting relegated.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking, like, bro, you're celebrating, and it's like, do you not, why are you celebrating scoring against United when in reality you're getting relegated, mate? Like, what is it to celebrate? I wouldn't be, like, as much as obviously I enjoy football, I don't know if I'll be celebrating as much as Rodriguez did if you
maybe the goal, I can understand celebrating the goal because that's a moment. But when that full-time whistle goes and you've won, yes, it's a thanks to fans.
Yeah.
But I've seen some like hugs and
bro, you man should have did this before. You get me? Like you should be playing. How come you didn't play like this?
Should have pretended next match was United.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Like that's what I'm saying. It's like it's their cup final. It's like you don't even realise you're already down, mate. Like, I don't know.
West Bromwich Albion are almost down. Wolves are up. Their manager has been fantastic. Some of their players have been amazing. We've kind of known they've been getting promoted for a while, kind of like the same with City, but they've just wrapped it up. You're looking forward to seeing them in the Premier League next season?
I am, but I've not seen them. I've not seen loads of them, to be honest. However, I do hear a lot about Wolves, and I've seen obviously quite a few of their goals. I've seen I think it was Neves' goal in the week. Like,
listen, his first touch was awful. His first touch took it all. His first touch went backwards. That's why he had to check back like this. But his shot was amazing. Amazing. He's got like his own goal of the season contender award for everything.
That's what I'm saying. They've got obviously like they've been playing well. Obviously they've had a lot of investment over the last couple of years. But even like I think last season I think they finished about 16th something last season. So like even that just to go from there to top of the league and to be winning it early and that. Is sick for them. Obviously, there's been loads of questions that's come up because obviously Jorge Mendes and that.
Jorge Mendes and Gessifu and all their involvement with it. It was being questioned about the way they brought players there, but I think it's all legitimate. And the players, because they're getting a calibre of player that other promoted and championship teams can't get in terms of footballers. And they're getting some fantastic talents too. I'm looking forward to seeing them, and we only live around the corner, so that's great as well. Wolves are a great team, very organised. There's Pat Mouse, who's a Man City fan, so we should probably be ignoring him.
I think that sorry to cut you now. I think that the one thing I do like about them coming up is that they do play attacking football. So for me, the thing that I don't like is teams like West Brom. To be fair, they didn't fun enough just try and park the bus, but if you like, there is teams who are Burnley, for example. Burnley, although I think they're just behind Arsenal, they've scored something like 33 goals this season. 33 goals, as high as they are.
When they win 1-0, and when they lose 1-0.
Yeah, but it's like, does anyone? I don't know in the comments. Unless you're a Burnley fan, does anyone look at and think, if Burnley on the TV, do you think I want to watch that game?
I like Burnley. No, I like Sean Dyche, not Burnley.
Do you like watching them though? Do you think I let me
watch? I watched them on Match of the Day.
Match of the Day, like cover them for like 5 minutes, man. Like,
10 minutes.
But I'm saying, like, would you watch it?
Nah.
There's teams in the Premiership. I think that
I wouldn't pay to go watch them.
That's what I'm saying, and it's like I just think that I would rather have teams in the Premiership where I think at least if you go for it and it like because there is quite a lot of teams that just it's obviously you're going into the game with a mentality you're not trying to lose and you're just trying to stifle the opponent and that's what like happens with a lot of the small teams and I'm not a fan of that. But Wolves coming up, I think just to add to that, like I say, I think that they will come up and I think they'll have a go, and I don't think they'll just sit back. I think they'll have a go at teams.
Talking about Burnley, Sean Dyche manager of the year?
Nah, I think
after Pep.
I think you have to give it to Pep because for me, he's the best candidate. The best candidate there is. Like, I'll be interested to hear your argument for Sean Dyche. But like I say, like that statistic I've just brought up, Paul, then they scored 33 goals. Like as good as they've got points, do I think although he's punching above their weight, I don't think they should be there. They haven't invested to where they are. Like, I think they've got one of the lowest.
I think Sean Dyche is doing an amazing job with the resources he has.
Rafa Benitez doing a great job as well.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Wagner's
But
done
he's
a
not
good job.
doing better than Sean Dyche. And if you look at their players, like on paper they're awful, and they're doing amazing. They've got some big results against big teams. Newcastle haven't really, in the bigger games, kind of turn over. I know they beat us, but but they turn over for a lot of teams. And yeah, I don't think it could be Rafa. I think it's Sean Dyche, especially if they finished above Arsenal.
But how can you discount? Again, it's because I know we obviously got our United.
Pep's done what Pellegrini has done. Is it that special?
He at least I've heard arguments where it's like you kind of anticipate, it's like he's Rodgers manager of the year in Scotland because he's won the league with. He's probably it's because they're expected to win it, innit? Like City are kind of, if they don't win the title, they're kind of expected to win it. But I think in the manner in which they've done it, in terms of, like I said, they have kind of played
and we're about to
naive
break so many
times.
records.
Yeah, like in terms of they have played kind of the same way for every single game. I think it's hard to, and they won the league already, and it's like it's hard. I think even as a United fan,
Bad
to not
Brad
say that
says Dyche overachieved, Pep underachieved. I don't think Pep's underachieved in the league. Ross says Burnley getting into Europe. If that happens, obviously manager of the year. Pep lost twice to Liverpool in a week. If Pep had a budget like Mourinho, would still do far better.
If he inherited the team, I'm telling you now,
we wouldn't.
If he inherited that team, we wouldn't be playing like that.
Imagine trying to play Pep football with Smalling at the back. Are you nuts? And he wouldn't have had the luxury of being able to buy like £250 million fullbacks and do this and that. Because we've seen why Jose's destroyed Luke Shaw, because he wants that piece for a left back. So yeah, all interesting. But I think Dyche, if he finishes above Arsenal, could get it. But I think Pep has to get it. Really.
Why do Arsenal have been, if they're just,
because that means he gets, not because they're finishing above Arsenal, because it means they get Europe. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, I'm
not using Arsenal as a yardstick or anything like that.
I agree in terms of I didn't anticipate Burnley to do anything like this, but at the same time I didn't anticipate City to do what they've done either. I think at the start of the season I thought we'd win the title that's what I said at the start of the season. I thought that we would win the title. I didn't envisage City doing what they've done.
I thought Jose's second season and all that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's like,
without realising the defensive shit.
I didn't anticipate City doing it, and the way they've done it, I think it's like it's same with, obviously we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, like in our player of the year, it's like if Salah don't win it, it's a travesty. I think if you're Pep and you don't win it this season, it's a travesty, to be honest. Like that's what I would see, because it's like they've absolutely stormed the league. Like people was talking about, I'm sure in January, like we was talking about, it's over. Like you know what I'm saying? There's someone said after the game,
after the derby,
it's like it was over, and it's like that's insane.
Mentally, it was gone, isn't it?
But again, I think the other team, we haven't been good enough, innit? Like Liverpool, as much as people say think Liverpool's doing well, they ain't been good enough. Chelsea ain't been good enough. Spurs ain't good enough to challenge City. So
defo agree. Who's Wally of the week this week? I go for Mourinho. He was hero of the week last week. How you can take a team from beating top of the table to losing against 20th at home? For me, you have to get Wally of the week. I thought he got his substitutions wrong. I thought he got okay, if you're saying it wasn't his tactics that were the problem, then change things up quicker. And I just thought everything about it was awful, and I think the buck has to start with the manager. So for me, Wally of the week, first one ever I've given to Jose Mourinho, first one I've ever given to a Man United player, manager, anyone. Wally of the week.
If I was in the,
you can do it. You can give your Wally of the week.
It would also be an ex-Man United player, but it would be Mark Hughes. 2-0 up against Chelsea. 2-0 up, you lose 3-2, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Southampton are now in the bottom three, along with Stoke from one, and obviously he was Stoke. It's like, imagine you could get relegated. Your two teams could get relegated in the same season.
Pretulio agrees with you.
That's a madness. Like
Lalou says Peter Cech. Huddersfield mascot. What did they do?
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that. Guys, think about Laurent Blanc. I don't want to do that. But yeah, Hughes or Mourinho. I'll put a little poll on here for you. Wally of the week this week. Hughes or Mourinho. If you're watching this back, click the poll up there. If you're not watching this back and you're watching it live, then I'll put the poll up in a minute or two. So just hold tight and vote. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. It's been a shit week of football. City are champions. I'm not going to congratulate them. Dean, do you want to? Are you a bigger man than me?
Fair play to them. No, they have been sick.
Dean's a bigger man than me.
You can't like I'm a football fan also, and like I said, they have played some good stuff, and obviously, like I said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't, and they've won the league, and it's not even May, so fair play to them. But obviously, we'll be back. We'll be back next season. I'm hoping. Yeah, we
better be. It's been 6 years.
Jesus.
Anyway, fair play to the fuckers. See you later, guys.